Happy New Year, everyone. Yes, 2024 is finally here. And of course, we've got to talk about 2023 and look forward to 2024 with our very special guest, the Director of Putnam County Schools, Corby King. And Corby, how was your Christmas?
We had a great Christmas. Christmas, I have a big family, and we spend a lot of time on the road. My wife's family's in East Tennessee. My family's in Lawrenceburg, which is it's still Middle Tennessee, but it's west of here, down on the Alabama border. And so we're on the road a lot. We spent time at both families. Had a great time. Travels were good, safe. The roads weren't terrible. So a lot of time with family, and it was really good.
And there was a lot going on with your family of 12,000 students here in the Putnam County system. What a great break. I can't, it's like everybody was so ready for Christmas break to roll around. And but now, school is about to be back in session again. And, what an optimistic 88 days of school have come and gone. And we have 92 left, almost right there at the halfway point.
Time really flies. People talk about that the older we get, how fast time goes. I think that's true. This, the fall semester 2023, those 88 days absolutely flew by. We were so busy. So many fun things that were happening in our schools. Great events for our students, our faculty, our staff, the new learning that was taking place. Just a lot of excitement around the whole fall semester. And we had a good fall semester in the Putnam County school system.
And it seems like there's so many things to talk about. And what we'll do is we'll kind of go through month to month, but then there's also some specific topics that we can talk about. And, school started back August 1st. And this being my first year in the Putnam County school system, was so delighted to see all the back to school bashes. I mean, that was so cool to see. There was like enthusiasm and there was an energy that I don't know that I felt.
There's nothing like the beginning of a school year. All summer long, and people aren't ready. We love summer. Teachers love summer. Kids love summer. I think parents are ready for the kids to get back in school. That leads to part of the excitement. But for kids too, they're ready to see their friends again. They've not seen them, some of them over the course of the summer, especially the younger kids. Learning who their new teachers are, buying the new school supplies. There's just nothing quite like that excitement of new learning that's about to take place. But it's being back in the relationships that you build, and it's being there with your friends and meeting the new teachers and kind of learning the boundaries. There's always a ton of excitement around the beginning of a school year. One of my favorite times of the year, and I think for most teachers, it's a favorite time of year for us.
And around the start of school, of course, we had the fair going on. And one of the cool things was the special education day at the fair where they open it up to the special education
students. The day before the fair starts. They do that every year. It's a huge event. We have sponsors that come out and they help, and they allow our special education students access to the fairgrounds to ride rides without having to wait in lines. We have the teachers our transportation department does a great job helping get the students over there. The teachers and the assistants are with them. A lot of parents come and are part of the day as well. The fair board makes sure that we have access to all the festivities around the fair at that time. It's just a great event for our students and for the community as well.
The school year got off to a great start, but we had some students that kind of accomplished some things outside of school that we were able to highlight. We had Taylor Chin from Avery Trace, who won 10 medals at the History Olympiad in Rome. And then we had the two wrestlers who represented Team USA. It was Jake Stinnett and Grady Phelps, and they were representing for Team USA. They went to Brazil, and they won some medals, and they came home. I mean, just what a great year to start the school year, a great way to start the school year with some students doing some of those things like that.
Absolutely. We have some of the most talented students in our school system, and they do amazing things, not just with school, but outside of school as well. And I appreciate that you bringing that back and highlighting that. Those are things that we forget. I was a former history teacher and didn't even know there was this National History Bowl until we have the student who goes and he wins the medals, and that is so cool. The wrestling team, Team USA.
Team USA.
For the wrestling.
Again,
we know we have an excellent wrestling team. At Cookville, we have growing programs, our middle schools at Upperman growing. The wrestling, with the addition, they're part of the addition at Upperman High School is a JROTC drill hall during the day in classroom, but it doubles as a wrestling facility in the evenings for practices and just an extra space in gym. So a growing program for our community. Lots of scholarships available, students who are performing exceptionally well, who are going to move on and get some post-secondary money. It's just a great extracurricular sport for our students to be involved in.
And as if school hadn't already just started, all of a sudden middle school homecomings start popping up because middle school football starts
Yes.
in about
August, right off 2 weeks after we start school.
And the excitement that goes with the middle school homecomings, and I can remember being in middle school and homecoming being such a big deal, but it's celebrated so cool now because it's a week long of activities.
It is. Yeah, so I was a middle school teacher, and sometimes you're like, oh man, the distraction, you're ready to get through, but it's fun with the kids. We would do the dress up days, the door decoration contest. When I was at Avery Trace at that time, and I think they still do, all the middle schools typically, you have the week-long festivities. You have the ball game, which is typically a Thursday night, a little different than high school.
Right.
But you have the game on Thursday night, the homecoming court, and you celebrate. And they get all dressed up, and we do the presentation on the field. But then you end the week with a dance, a homecoming dance. What a fun time for our middle school students to be involved in something, get out of the house, have something to do on a Friday evening, spend time with their friends for a couple hours. Absolutely great events.
And as we rolled into September, we really kind of, the theme kind of changed toward first responder stuff because we had the big countywide emergency drill at Northeast that it's one of those things where you don't publicize a lot, but you have to do because in today's society and the way things are going, you have to be ready for whatever might happen in a situation like that.
We do, and that's something that we actually start in the summer in the school system. Our teachers go through annual training over the safety plan. We have the emergency response teams in every school, in all of our buildings. We work closely with the Sheriff's Department, with 911, EMA, EMS, all the agencies in the local community to plan our drills, to prepare. This year, there's a 3-year rotating cycle within our local emergency planning committee. They go between us, Tech, the hospital. Mm-hmm. This was our year in the school system to have a full-scale drill. That was at Northeast. A great opportunity for us to practice our protocols.
It was.
And from the communication to the parents, and I think Northeast did an exceptional job. A transportation department, again, stepping up, getting students off campus, which is things we would do in the actual event.
Right.
Evacuation to another location and bringing them back, but also for our community and our first responders to practice the things that they would be doing if there was an actual event. It's things we pray never happen in our community, but we absolutely have to prepare and plan. So if something does, we do the things to protect our students. That's the end of the day. It's about protecting students, protecting our faculty and staff, and preventing as much harm as we can.
And I can remember when we were, in the boardroom and we're communicating stuff, and it felt so real that there was almost like a heaviness when it was over of, wow, what it would really be like to go through something like that. And like you said, prayers that we never have to experience something
Absolutely.
like that.
I don't think there's any way we could ever truly prepare for that actual event if it does happen. The emotions are so high around anything like that. But even just doing a drill, it is a lot. And it's a lot for families. And it's something that, it scares all of us. I've got kids still in the schools. You've got grandkids here in the schools. It's scary for all of us. But again, I think the important thing that we want to communicate is that we do plan, we do prepare, we do practice so that we can maximize our safety efforts to keep students, faculty, and staff safe.
Following on the heels of that was the first responder event at Cookeville High School where all the first responders get to come and kids get
really
to go.
Cool.
And the helicopters come in and land there on the soccer fields. And, you see these students come out and they get up close and personal looks at, the highway patrol, the fire department, the police, all the different things. And the first responders do a great job of taking time to talk to them and explain to them it is what they do.
They do. And high school is when we really start thinking about what do you want to do for the rest of your life? What do you want to do after high school when things are over? And we're doing a much better job, I think, than we did a few years ago at preparing students. For a long time, there was this push that everybody needs to go to college. Everybody needs post-secondary. Right. That's still really important. We need to keep those numbers high and increase opportunities for students who want to go to college or university. But there are other careers and other professions that are rewarding, that are fitting for our students. And I can't think of a career or profession any more rewarding than taking anything that our first responders, become a police officer, become a fireman, EMS, so paramedic.
Right.
Giving yourself it to benefit your community. I mean, we look anytime there's anything going on in our community, we lean heavily on those agencies.
We do.
And we need good people in those roles. We need good people. If there's something going on at my home and I need law enforcement or out in the community, I want good people to show up. If I'm in the middle or someone in my family's having a medical emergency, I want good people to show up.
Right.
So it's important that we're identifying students in high school, that they're kind of opening their minds a little bit, thinking, that might be something I want to do. We've got a class through our CTE program now, an EMR class at Cookeville High School. We've got a class in Monterey High School, a criminal justice class, training students if they want to become a police officer, a corrections officer. There's some basic training just to kind of get them started down that path, just to think about that life of service after high school.
Sure.
And it's a good career.
Yeah.
We've got amazing officers in our community, paramedics, just good people. If you know any of them, fortunately, I've been able to work with several of the people in all of those departments. They're just good people. And I'd love to see our students go into those roles. One of the helicopter pilots is one of my former students.
Oh, I know, yeah.
And it was great to see him. He came up, Mr. King, how you doing? And I remember him as a 7th grade kid, and who would have thought? But here he is. He's flying one of the choppers and having a great time. He spent some time in the military becoming a pilot, and then he's come back and he's working in our community, serving here. And it's great to see that. And I hope that we encourage and inspire other students to do the same.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of students, we had great news that the Cookeville High senior Hope Robertson was a National Merit Scholarship semifinalist.
Yes, and 36 on the ACT.
And a perfect score on the ACT.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't have a 36. So.
No, about half that. No, but
I was a little better than half now. But no, but man, how impressive!
Very impressive young lady.
She is. And every year we have students who are continuing to hit just crazy high marks academically. ACT, SAT, more scholarship money than ever. They're graduating with 4 point whatever GPAs.
Yes.
You look at our top performing students every year. The marks they're hitting, the scholarships that they're receiving to go to some of the best universities in the country, and they're taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
So many that are going on to Ivy League schools. But we're also, not to sell short here, Tennessee Tech, great opportunity for our students here in town and partnership.
Yeah.
But just our students taking advantage of those post-secondary opportunities. And couldn't be more proud of the work that they're doing. We know her parents, her family is super proud, and we're proud to be a part of that.
And as September came to a close, homecoming parades for
all
3 of the high schools. I mean, we went Cookeville, Upperman, Monterey, and it's like every week we had a homecoming parade, and it was just great to see the turnout of the communities to support the homecoming parade. Because, I mean, it's one thing to have a homecoming parade, but when you see the community people actually come out and support those folks and become a part of it. I remember at Upperman that day, I mean, the people lined up.
Hey, you line that street between the 2 schools.
Yes.
That is such a cool atmosphere. It is a lot of fun. All the kids from both the middle school and high school line the road there, and you get all the faculty and staff out there. But then you turn out on Highway 70, and you've got all the parents, lined up. They back the trucks in, and as they go by the parade route. The elementary schools, they go down by both Baxter Primary and Cornerstone. You get the students and the faculty and some of their parents, the local businesses lining the streets. So much fun for our students.
It is.
Those are things, I remember being in high school, those events, and I think we'd gotten away from some of those fun things that we really have to do better. We've got to bring those back. Making those connections so high school somewhere our students want to be. You want to be involved. You want to be connected.
Right.
And there's so many things that are opportunities available. Our students don't always make time for that. And sometimes I think we forget, even as educators, there's all this world of high pressure testing and all this stuff going on, and that we have to hit these certain marks. We forget about the fun stuff. Yeah. And I'm hoping that we can get past that and bring the fun back, find a balance, because that's so important. Again, the parades at all 3 high schools. To see that at Cookeville, lining the streets for that homecoming parade at night, the local businesses involved. Then you go to the games on Friday night. Same thing happened in Monterey. You go to the games on Friday night. The stands are packed. people cheering on the team, cheering on the homecoming court, and then ending with that homecoming dance. The students being there, just being together. And again, it's about
those
the
are memories, man. I mean, that is what high school is all about.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what school is all about, is making those memories.
Absolutely. I think for most of us who became teachers, a lot of that stuff is why we became teachers.
Yeah.
It was really fun. You have a good experience, you enjoy that. It's like, this is something I want to be a part of.
Yeah. Some more good news as far as students go. Adeline Moore, senior at Cookeville High, received the Student Recognition Award at the Tennessee School Board Association Upper Cumberland Fall District meeting. And then we had a chance to recognize her just a few weeks ago at the December school board meeting.
We did, and that's a recognition. Our school board, I think Ms. Cravens nominated Adeline, I think is how that went.
Yeah.
But to receive that recognition from the Upper Cumberland region as a TSBA student of the it's a student recognition award from TSBA. But when we read Adeline's resume,
wow.
What an impressive student, involved in so many civic activities, along with her academic pursuits and helping the community. Again, her parents were super proud of her, and we were as well. I mean, just a very impressive young lady.
Unfortunately, we had some bad news during fall break. One of our Cookeville High students tragically killed, and like you said, you can never prepare for something like that.
Those are the hardest things that we deal with. The loss of a student, the loss of a faculty member, loss of student family members. It's something that we all face at times. We deal with loss, we deal with grief. We have an amazing support staff with our counselors, both at the school level, but also we extend anytime we have something like that. A tragedy that occurs in one of our schools, you have the school counselors at that school come together.
Yeah.
But Dr. Upchurch and Student Services, they bring counselors from other schools to come help out. Our social workers come in and help out, providing support for students, for faculty and staff. Those are things we really can't prepare for. You don't think, it's just they're tragic. It was a terrible time, and that student, that family, still hurting. The student's family, those who are involved, still hurting. The students who were closest to that particular student, those are things they'll remember their whole life. I remember losing friends when I was in high school or shortly after in college, and still have the memories of those because we've gone to elementary school together and middle school together. It is a part of life, but it's not one that you think you should have. We just shouldn't have to deal with at this age. So that was a very difficult thing that occurred over fall break, and it's something that's hard to prepare for. But we're fortunate here that we have some things in place, but still no way to ever replace that loss. That's just tough.
Certainly, our prayers still go out to the family of Alex Hughes.
Absolutely.
Turning to some positive news, the Upperman girls volleyball team making it back to state. What an incredible run, winning the district, winning the region, and making it to state, and just how excited everybody was around volleyball.
Absolutely. And good crowds to come out for volleyball, which we don't always see.
Yes.
But there were good crowds, and to the state finals in the tournament as well.
Yeah.
Again, we used to seeing that around Upperman basketball some, but not so much around volleyball.
Right.
So that was fun. That was huge. A lot to celebrate. Upperman had a lot in athletics to celebrate last year.
They had.
What a year they had.
Yeah.
So great for Coach Sanders and for all of the girls there. I mean, man, a great run. I don't know if anybody expected them to get to state, much less that as far as they did. Got hot at the right time, and they played some exceptional volleyball.
Good news as far as schools go. Cookeville High recognized as one of the best high schools in the nation by U.S. News and World Report. Whenever you hear something like that, you're like, that's our school. That's Cookeville High being recognized by U.S. News and World Report.
It is. Caught us off guard.
Yeah.
We were, in a good way. I mean, you were surprised. We got that letter, didn't realize we were on the radar for that.
Right.
So we get that letter, you kind of bow up just a little bit. Hey, all right. We know internally what we have at Cookeville High School, at all of our high schools, Upperman and Monterey too. But we know what we have. We have outstanding teachers at Cookeville High School, excellent programs. We turn out students who we've mentioned several individually here today that are so impressive. We do that every year from Cookeville High School, and it takes the teachers that working with those kids from kindergarten all the way through. So this is those type recognitions I think are recognitions for our whole system. Everybody that's had a part of getting to that, but then at Cookeville High School, providing the atmosphere and the opportunities for those students, embracing the individual the individual abilities of his students, and saying, you know, whether it's academics, athletics, chorus, band, drama, theater, the CTE programs at Cookville High School. There's so many things. I start naming them off. I'm going to leave stuff out. Somebody will say, "You let." I'm not. It's just, you know,
sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. But no, there's so many opportunities and great things that are happening for our kids, and they're taking advantage of it. And so you get that recognition like this from U.S. World and Report, and someone from that level recognizes what we're doing. Wow, how cool is that?
That's really cool.
Yeah.
As we transition into November, you know, it's hard to get in November and not kind of get overwhelmed with Veterans Day and all of the Veterans Day programs. And this was what was so cool is, you know, everybody knows that Cookville High always has a big one, but I think we had 16 schools participate in Veterans Day programs.
We did.
16 schools.
We love we understand the importance of the veterans in our community.
Yeah.
If it were not for the sacrifice of those who go and serve in our, military, whatever branch that may be, we don't have the freedoms we have in our country.
Right.
And I'm so proud of our schools for recognizing that and honoring that. And I had the chance to speak, and you may bring it up in a few minutes, December at the JROTC ball. That was one of the things, when I was preparing for that, I thought about, we open all of our important ceremonies with a color guard from the JROTC. Again, thinking about the military and the service that we have. The big program at Cookville High School, again, everybody knows, but I had the opportunity this year to be at all three of our high schools.
Yes.
Man, what a great service. At Upperman High School to have a World War II veteran and the grandfather of one of our teachers who's there. I mean, wow, that was so moving and so impressive. And then one of our county commissioners, AJ Donadio, speaking at that one.
Yeah.
Again, powerful speech that he gave for the students that morning or that afternoon at the Upperman High School.
Yep.
That morning to be at Monterey and have the Berks and Monterey faculty together and have the veterans program that they did and they put on for the community and recognizing the veterans in Monterey. Man, what a great day. We get asked every year about Veterans Day, why we don't take that off in the school system. And part of that is because we want to honor and respect our veterans.
Right.
And we do the programs and we show that honor and respect. If a veteran has a family member and they want to take the family member, it's mom, dad, whatever, we excuse those absences. We understand you want to spend that day. But for most of our kids, if we took Veterans Day off, they would sit at home and do what you kids do on those days. They're going to sleep in, play on the Xbox, play video, whatever it may be, and not really think about it. But if they're in the schools, they come, they attend the programs, they're so respectful, and they pay attention. Yeah. And again, hoping that we ignite something within them that not only to help them understand the significance and importance of those veterans, but maybe that they would want to serve themselves at some point. Man, I think it's so cool. Graduations every year, we recognize the students who are signing up to join and be a part of the military service after high school.
Yep.
We have a few every year at all three of our high schools. So important for all of us in the community. And I appreciate that our schools recognize that and have the ceremonies and their community comes out and supports them.
Love the red, white, and blue.
Absolutely. Love the red, white, and blue.
And if you love music, Tennessee Tech had the education concert where, what was it, all the fourth grade?
All the fourth graders, they do that every year. It's fourth grade. Yeah. Bring the Bryan Symphony Orchestra coming over.
Oh, it was so neat.
It is. There are 2 sittings, and all the fourth graders, they get just the experience of being at a concert like that, a formal concert. We have to kind of sit and be quiet and pay attention. You're in a formal setting at Bryan Symphony Hall over there. It is so nice. Or
this year
Barger
they did
Auditorium.
Memorial Gym.
They do. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They brought them in a Memorial Gym and set them
a little more room. Okay, a little more room that way. That's okay. I said what Barger Auditorium, but in Memorial Gym still. You've got the orchestra that is there. Yeah. And how many students have the opportunity to go and sit and hear an orchestra play?
And have Dan Alcott explain how everything comes together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, and actually, do it from a slow process to builds up to the big song.
It is huge.
That's cool.
My family has a lot of musical talent. Yeah. That's not me. They don't let me sing, not even at church. They're like, shh, Daddy, no. But my kids are really talented, and my wife, and they So I get to attend a lot of those type events, and my daughter's a violinist, and she's at a lot of those.
Takes after her mom, I'm sure.
She does. They absolutely do. All their talent comes from mom. So getting to be at those concerts, something that we enjoy, our family, and I'm just so thankful that we have that resource in our community that other students get to share in those experiences as well.
We go into Thanksgiving break, and we come out of that, and Upperman football, we've talked about, some Upperman success, but they make it to Chattanooga for the first time ever, play for a state championship. Didn't go the way we wanted it to go. We won't talk about the controversial two-point
conversion at the
end.
That was heartbreaking.
But still,
I was on that end of the field. I feel like we crossed the line.
I did too. I mean, we saw pictures and video. And if we'd had replay, if there had been replay in high school football, I guarantee you, there'd have been 2
think
points.
So. Yeah. As a former official, I don't know that we need replay in high school athletics at that level. But that was heartbreaking. Yeah. And a lot of things there that you'd like, man, if only. And who knows how it would have turned out. We gave Pearl-Cohn all they wanted.
Oh, yeah.
They were the heavy favorite going in.
Absolutely.
Man, big old boys. 2 Mr. Football finalists already signed scholarships to go play at the next level at D1 schools, big D1 schools. Our boys gave them all they wanted.
Sure did.
It was a great game, a great atmosphere. Rained the whole time. We sat out there in the rain for the whole game. I was thought it might be a little passing shower. No, we had steady rain the whole game. But it was a great atmosphere. Our fans, the community, I was so proud of the support.
Wow.
Even in the rain, how many people drove down to Chattanooga.
The send-off at the high school.
Oh, that was so much fun.
I think one of the most viewed videos that we've had the whole year on social media was just the video of them leaving on the bus.
It was. But it was just big. And again, both schools, have the high school and the middle schools, come out there
that was so
that
cool.
send-off. That was a lot of fun. Then getting to Chattanooga and the boys, man, just a great game, great atmosphere, and another huge accomplishment for our kids.
And then you get into the Christmas season. We have all the Christmas programs. You have chorus concerts, and you have all the Christmas stuff that's going on. And one of the cool things was the Community Heroes for Holidays, again, opening up.
Wow.
Opening up Academy Sports and bringing about 60 students in and giving them some money to be able to shop for the holidays.
And not just giving them the money, but shopping with them.
Yes, absolutely participating with them.
The Cookeville City police officers, I think the Sheriff's Department had officers over there.
THP
had officers. I mean, wow, again, our community, our first responders in the community, being there to support our transportation department again, getting the students to Academy and back to their schools. But just the officers being there with the students, shopping with them. I think you were there that morning. You get to see the smile. Those kids have so much fun.
Oh.
And it's so cool. They're shopping for their family.
Yes.
That's something that's always, it hits me. It's like, wow, these kids have got the opportunity to come in and shop and buy anything they want.
Yeah.
They could buy the toy that they want. They could buy the shoes that they want. But overwhelmingly, they come in and they're looking for mom. They're looking for dad. They're looking for their sibling. And it's, my brother would like this, my sister would like this. And, I know how I was with we get along great, and we did, but we still had those squabbles, especially at that age. And these kids, they're looking to buy for somebody else.
It's incredible.
And it is so heartwarming and touching, and our officers help them do that.
Yeah.
They're there to support them, help them make good choices with the money they have, help them get a little bit about what they want and what they want to get for others. Just a great event.
We wrapped up 2023 on a really positive note from an award perspective. Tina Francis Hodges named the Principal of the Year for the state of Tennessee. And I remember getting the text from you. You said, I'm going to go down, to Nashville tonight. They're going to, say who the principal is, and I'll let you know. And getting that text and just the excitement, and then hearing from her and just what that was like.
That was great. First time we've had a Principal of the Year.
Yeah.
But not just for the Upper Cumberland or for Putnam County. We have that every year here for Putnam County.
Yeah.
But she is the Tennessee State Principal of the Year, recognized for the work that she and her staff at Jerry Whitson. And again, she would tell you that's just a recognition of the teachers and the staff, the hard work they do at Jerry Whitson every day. They do some amazing things in that school with the students. Tina being recognized is so much fun. We were both shocked. We had no idea going in. She's like, "Did you know?" I said, "I didn't know." They don't tell us anything. We had the invite. We go down. We're at the Parthenon. It's a nice dinner. My wife got to come with me. Tina's husband was with her. Her daughters were able to be there.
Right.
So we're all sitting there, and they start reading this stuff about the principal of the year and things people said. I thought, wait, that sounds familiar. I think I wrote that. That was part of
those words.
That was part of the recognition. And so when they named her, that was so much fun.
The reaction from her daughters are priceless. Absolutely priceless.
Like they dropped the phone.
Yes, the video is priceless.
It was. So again, it should not have been a surprise to any of us. I think we were, because it's an honor. She's there with 8 other principals who are all outstanding, amazing principals across the state of Tennessee. Just to be recognized and being at the table as a regional principal of the year is huge.
Yeah.
But then when they actually named her to be the principal of the year, that was it caught us all as a bit of a surprise. Again, it shouldn't have. We know Tina. We know how great she is and the work she does. So what a fun day.
And the process began all over again because
right off the bat,
we named our school teachers of the year, and then we had the opportunity to take the prize patrol and go and surprise the district teachers of the year. That was Alicia Cade at Allgood Elementary, Bo DeBoard for Vital, and then Chelsea Forgy at Cookville High School. Yes. And to see the surprise on their face when you showed up with balloons and candy, that was priceless.
Oh, it is. That's so much fun. That's a fun day too. And again, all 3 amazing teachers.
Yes.
And their students and their coworkers would agree. Again, we have so many amazing educators in Putnam County, but the opportunity to go and visit their classrooms.
Right.
And when we come in and you see the surprise on their face, but the surprise
Alicia's
on their
in
students.
Her pajamas because it's pajama day.
Yeah. All the dress up days.
Chelsea's got the reindeer antlers on. Yes.
Yeah. It's fun. But, their students, again, they all recognize how good these teachers are. And how much learning takes place, the relationships that they build. We caught Bo on his lunch break.
Yeah, we did.
But he had class going on in Vital. It's virtual, so he's on the computer and he's got his class up in front of him, but he had himself muted, and then the camera turned off because he was actually eating lunch at the time. But again, what a fun day, and just to be in the classrooms and to see the great work that our educators are doing. All of them, even Bo having his lunch. The class was doing the assignment in the background, but Chelsea was in her element. She was teaching, had the math lesson going on, preparing for a test coming up. It was funny because the kids, you're able to leave them so she could do a quick 30-second interview, but the kids are still doing their work while she's out. You can see, again, the work that she put in and her students, how they respect her and do that. Alicia, those kids were working so hard for you, and it's like you don't want to interrupt them.
I know.
But to take just a few minutes and recognize the work that they're doing, oh, man, how much fun.
That was great.
It's a good day.
And then we named Tara Brooks Principal of the Year and Tim Martin, your Deputy Director, as Supervisor of the Year.
I could not have made better choices there. This Principal of the Year is voted on by all the supervisors. Mm-hmm. And I think the supervisors, again, knocked it out of the park with Tara, just like with Tina last year. Tara does an amazing job at Prescott. That faculty, those students are so fortunate, for the things that she does, the leadership she has in that building. Wow. The student growth that continues to take place, the academic opportunities that she provides, and all the extracurricular things going on at Prescott. It's a great environment. So proud of Tara. And then Tim, over here, they all affectionately call him the Godfather. He's kind of like the whisper. Everybody goes to Tim. Something's going on. They'll say, "Well, this is happening, but it's okay. I call Tim. I talked to Tim about it." Like, well, you can call me. Yeah. It's okay. I just call Tim. and that happens a lot. It doesn't matter what's going on. When people are calling, they're like, "Well, we had this happening. I'll be in the schools and I'll see a principal. Was there anything that you need? Anything? Well, I'm working on this today, but it's okay. I call Tim."
Yeah.
And that's what I get everywhere I go is, well, you could, but it's really, you don't need to. Tim's got it. I call Tim. Right. And I'm like, well, I call Tim too. Tim needs a raise is what Tim needs. He's amazing because he's who I call. Yeah. And the supervisor of the year is voted on by the principals. Mm-hmm. And I think they made a great choice with Tim, and we all lean heavily on him. So excited to see how it goes this year for them.
Yeah. Speaking of principals, we have 4 new principals in the system this year. It started this year with Bree Wheeler and Mel Presley, Bree Wheeler at Monterey and Mel Presley at Parkview. And then during the year, Karen Trenum takes over at Cookeville High School, and then Ben Herron takes over for JoJo Matheny at White Plains Academy.
And, we're so lucky to have people who are ready to step up and step into those roles.
Yeah.
Didn't expect the transition at Cookeville or at White Plains, but we have people who are ready, who are capable. Karen's doing a great job. She stepped right in. I haven't missed a beat at Cookeville High School. We expect the things, the U.S. News and World Report, all the great things that are happening over there to continue happening and even thrive. I mean, you walk in the building and there's just a good air among the faculty, a good feeling there in the faculty. I've gotten messages from faculty members both at Cookeville and at White Plains. Same thing with Ben. They didn't really know him. They're getting to know him. At Cookeville, they knew Karen. She'd been there. She was the dean of students. Not a really difficult transition for that faculty. White Plains, Mr. Matheny's been there for a long time. I think 16 years. So it was unexpected when he came in and he said, hey, he had some just health concerns, some stuff going on. And it was hard for him to do. I know it was hard when he said, Corby, I just can't. I can't do this for the rest of the year. Got to make some changes. And I absolutely understand that and respect him in that decision. But then we had Ben ready to step in. That was thinking through our current administrative staff and how we're going to do this to get through the year. Ben has stepped right in. I've gotten messages from the faculty. He has a strong background working with students who are sometimes in difficult situations. He has a special education background. He's worked in our behavior classrooms before. He's been an assistant principal at All Good for 4 years, 5 years. He was ready to make the next step. So we're very fortunate that we have people who are ready to step in and take over. So Ben's doing a great job. Same thing, Bree and Mel. Man, wow, how much fun are they having at Monterey and Parkview? And
they bring the party, I'm telling you. They bring some excitement.
They really are.
They really do.
Watching at Parkview this year with Mel and Kathy, or Miss Keough and her assistant principal, the dress-up days and all the things that are going on over there.
They have a good time.
Yeah, Dr. Presley, they really are. And so very, again, the faculty at those schools are outstanding. They've embraced them and accepted them as their new leaders. And just a lot of good things happening in those schools.
Something that has kind of had a revitalization this year is school adopters. The school adoptions, the Putnam County Chamber of Commerce, they have done an outstanding job of really kind of giving that a boost. And we've had 3 adoption ceremonies already, and we've got one coming up at Capshaw, Baxter Primary, All Good Middle School, and White Plains Academy. All adoption ceremonies already this year, and then we've got more slated for 2024.
Really, they have. The Chamber has done a great job with that program. The school adoption program has been around for years, a long time. But it had kind of stagnated a little bit, I think. And, it just kind of becomes right. You get the same adopters of the same thing coming in, but the Chambers kind of picked that up. And the adopters are such an important piece. So we talk often in education about the need for community support and community advocates. And people identify adopters as just giving money, and it's not just about giving money. In some cases, yes, they provide, the adopters will come in and help work with the PTO and provide meals for teachers during Teacher Appreciation Week or around the Parent-Teacher Conference days, things like that. Provide a lunch or a dinner for teachers or breakfast for teachers. Maybe buy a shirt. There are things that we just can't do for teacher incentives with the funds that we collect. So, and you want to do those type things.
Absolutely.
Again, it builds a community spirit around the school, and our adopters help us do that. But also, we have adopters who come in and do community service projects. Landscaping around the building or painting in the building. We also try to advertise for the adopters, and we send students to work or perform, some of our course programs, depending on the school, might come sing at a corporate event for our adopters, if they're asked to do that. There are things we try to make it a mutual relationship where we support them, they come support us. I would love, for the community, we try to put this out there, and I love that you've been doing this in the week, helping me in the weekly wrap-ups, putting in the adopters. So, if we have a chance in the community to support those who support our schools, absolutely, let's do that. I'm big on shop local, eat local, all the things local, because they're the people who support us. And we couldn't do this without the help and support of our adopters. So again, thank you for all of our adopters for choosing us, to being a part of it. And I hope our community is supporting the adopters the way that we should be.
And, the adopters do provide some financial assistance to the schools, but one of the big things that you see in the schools really rally around now are these fundraisers that they have, like Capshaw Run and the Raider Rumble, the Panda Run, the Bulldog Dash, to where parents come out and they make it an event. It's no more selling the popcorn and the
the
candles,
door-to-door,
the door stuff. They have
yeah.
the big event that really is their primary fundraiser.
It is. We still have some of the other two.
Sure.
We try to limit that. I mean, everybody gets worn out. As a parent, we get worn out by the fundraisers. It's hard, and I know the parents, the community members, and we only have so many businesses, and all of our athletic teams hit up the same ones.
Yeah.
But those are funds that are necessary for us to operate.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just raising money for wants. They do provide needs. If it's a football team or a basketball team, baseball team, band, chorus, whatever it may be, there are things that are needs they have outside of what we provide from the school system. We have a limited amount of tax monies that we receive. Mm-hmm. So the fundraisers to become necessary. Same thing in the schools. There are things that they need money to pay outside of the stuff that we provide. We have tried in the past several years to offset the cost of a lot of the things that when I was a building administrator, we had to pay things like our phone bill, our copy bill, just various things like that, needs around the building. If it was paint, stuff for the halls, we would do that in the school. We would raise the money, use our fundraising money to pay for those things. We've tried to take that on here at the board in the past few years, but there are still things they like to do around the school that they need extra funds. They provide benches or new trash cans, just updating, keeping the campus looking nice. So the fundraisers are important. Yeah. And the ones, like you mentioned, the kind of going all in on the Cougar Run, the Raider Rumble I think at Avery Trace. We have the Redskin Run at All Good. Yeah. Upperman Day for the Upperman Middle School, or Jacket Jam, I think is what they call it. Yeah. All the schools have their name, kind of incorporating the mascot. But again, those are important. As a parent, it was easy for me to write that one check here. Just one check. Let's not fundraise, not go out door to door, hit all the family members up. Right. Let's just do that and call it a day. Yeah. So I hope our families appreciate it. But again, they make a day of it. The parents come out. They participate if they can. And it's fun for the kids.
Well, there's a couple of construction projects that have been going on during 2023. One is really close to being finished, maybe already is, and then the other one should be completed in 2024, and that's the expansion at Upperman High School, and of course the new Parkview Elementary School, which you had a chance to tour with Mel and some of the folks and some of the school board members. So what's the latest on those?
Wow, so exciting. So Upperman, by the time we get in school next week, I think it opens January 8th is when we're slated to have the addition turned over to us. Yeah. Or the furnitures to be delivered. I think the fire marshal and the electrical inspections I think have been completed at Upperman. There's still some brick work going on the outside. Brick seems to be our nemesis in these projects. It took a while to get it on site, but it's there now. The masons are working hard. I think that's really all that's left on the actual construction part is some of the brickwork on the outside, but we've been given clearance to occupy those. It doesn't impact the interior of the building. So it's waiting on furniture. Yeah. And the furniture is scheduled to be delivered January 8th. And once it's here, 4 new classrooms, a multi-purpose room, a chorus room, and a drill hall for JRTC and the gym for wrestling. Upperman has been really growing in the last few years. We've gone from 5-6 years ago, we were around 750 students at Upperman to a little over 1,000 now. Just really growing on that end of the county. It is. And as they keep building the subdivisions, it keeps growing, keeps expanding. Right. Those are things that this addition was necessary to have classroom space for the students. So it's really exciting. I know chorus and band are ready to have their own space. They've been sharing the band room forever at Upperman, as long as the building's been open. They're ready to each have their own space, and both programs are growing and thriving. They're doing exceptionally well. So that's exciting. At Parkview, we're still on track to be for that building to be turned over, to be completed, turned over to us, I think, in April, May. Somewhere is the time frame. So hopefully that we stay on schedule. Yeah. If we can have the certificate of occupancy and all the punch list things completed by May, really, give us June and July to get the furniture in place, to get the teachers in, to get kind of learn the building, classrooms, get them set up, learn the traffic flow. It's going to be a beautiful building.
Yeah.
Some of the spaces, we built that for the expansion to move. We're going to start out as a K4, pre-K4 in the first year when we open next fall. So there's some large spaces for if you're thinking just elementary. The gym is built. It's really big. The cafeteria is really big. The library is really big. But we have to keep in mind that those common areas are built to accommodate a K8, not just a K4.
Okay.
So hopefully soon, continuing to have conversations with the county commission and with others as our community grows and our student population increases, we move that to a K8, and then we've got the common spaces ready for occupancy for the older students as well as the younger.
Awesome. Well, there's a couple of things that have come up in 2023 that I know you've felt very passionate about. You penned a very passionate editorial about the Governor's Education Freedom Scholarship Act, and I know that was just something that you felt like you needed to do.
I do. It feels like in public education from outside of our community, and I'll say that, our community is very supportive. But from outside of our community, often from Nashville and from national even, public schools and public education seems to be under attack lately. And I just think it's so unfounded and so unfair. We do amazing work for our students. Are there things we can do better? Always, and we work on those every day. But this national narrative around public schools are failing is just not fair. It's not right. It's not accurate. The education freedom implies to me that they think that there's a way they can do it better. Well, what metrics are they going to use?
Yeah.
They don't have any of the accountability things that we have in public ed. There's nothing. There's not any research anywhere that shows that those private schools or private charters or homeschool organizations that they're touting provide any better education than we provide. So why should our public money go anywhere other than our public schools?
Sure.
And if there are things that they feel like, and I say they because it's a they, in Nashville, again, I don't think this is coming from our local community, but if there are things they feel like we can be done better in those settings, tell us what they are.
Yeah.
And give us the money to do that.
Yeah.
We would be happy to improve and do some of the things they can. But in those settings, often it's exclusionary. They don't have to accept every student that walks in the door.
True.
And we do in public education, and we're happy to accept that because we believe that all students can learn.
Yeah.
We believe that through the education we provide, our communities are stronger. That we take whatever baggage comes with that student, with their family, we work with them, we try to help them improve. We want them to become productive citizens, productive community members when they graduate, when they leave us, so that they can hold down a job, provide for their family, and help our community. It's what we do in public schools. In those private institutions, they don't have to take everybody that comes in the door, and they often don't.
True.
And what we don't want is to set up a system where they take these who can afford to go, or some of the students, and then just leave students who are in difficult situations in public schools. Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
But that can tend to happen in a voucher system, and that's not what any of us want. That doesn't help the community at all. We believe in providing a better community and better opportunities for all, for all of our students, for all of our families, and for our community. So that's probably I get a little too excited over that, but that's where I am. That's what I believe. I think our public schools, again, are the backbone of our community.
Absolutely.
We want them to be the best. We want to be responsive to our community needs and wants, desires. We have a very diverse community in Putnam County, coming from different backgrounds, and it doesn't look the same in every school. But we ought to be able to make those decisions locally with our school board.
Right.
The parents, the citizens, hold our school board accountable to what they want to see happening in our schools. I think our school board does an amazing job at providing that. So it's a good thing. And I just, if there's things they want us to do differently, then give us the freedom to do what the other schools can, or give us the money to do what they think we can do better.
And lately, the Tennessee Department of Education have released letter grades for schools around the state. The Tennessee legislation passed the law back in 2016, and they waited till December 21st of 2023 to implement letter grades for each individual school. And this happens after we have taken our break for the holidays, and these have come out. And Yeah, it's a letter grade that each school gets, and that's pretty much what it is.
It is, and what they're saying is they wanted some way to grade and to show parents some transparency around the schools and what our schools are providing. There's nothing transparent or easy about these letter grades. The way the calculation is, the way the grades are calculated,
right,
where they come up with the GPA to assign the grade, is really complicated. It takes a long time to dig into multiple Excel files and sheets to get to the calculations and how they do it. Mm-hmm. It's all based on one test score. It's based on the end of the year TCAPs. That's really it. Or at the high school level, it's the end of course exams and the college career readiness factor, which are some CTE programs and ACT scores factor into that at the high school level. Mm-hmm. But a lot of it's focused on student achievement. Well, student achievement, there's a heavy correlation to student achievement on any standardized test, to student achievement and the socioeconomic background of the community. So we have 50-something% of our students are economically disadvantaged in Putnam County. We know that by definition. Those students don't tend to perform as well on achievement-wise on a standardized test. Yeah. Any research study shows you that. And that's any public school system in Tennessee, especially you get into more rural communities. So there is a sense that this letter grade had to come out to show that schools are failing, but guess what? We're not. Yeah. We had really good scores in Putnam County. We did well. We did have the 3 Ds in Putnam County, but those schools are doing amazing work. We know that when you dig into the data and the stuff behind it, we use the data like we would anywhere else to say, okay, here are areas to improve. There are things there we already knew. We've been working on. We've been doing great work around that. Perfect. Yeah. No schools, but those teachers are doing great work. The students are doing great work. I wouldn't hesitate to put my kids in any of those 3 schools if that's where we were selected to go. Actually, mine are at one of those schools, have received an amazing education. And I've got one still there, and again, receiving an outstanding education. My son, who's a freshman in college, was well prepared. Again, I know that we're doing that. I'm speaking as a parent. Our schools are doing amazing work. Those letter grades are not transparent. That was tough, and it's the why now. Like you said, this has been in place since 2016, and not only that, they changed rules. We took the test under one set of rules in April. Yeah. And then there was this big push in the fall of this year to completely change the way that they were going to show the letter grades. So we took the test under one set of rules, and then the letter grades are published under a whole new set of rules that we haven't even seen over a test that we took 6 months ago. Wow. The whole thing around it is just baffling. And there's, again, nothing transparent, nothing easy about this, which is what they're supposed to be. Sure. What parents often would see or community members would see is an A, a B, a C. Well, we knew as students, if we got an A on a test, if we earned that A or earned a B or earned a C, whatever that may be, we had a rubric, we had a test, there was a score we had to make, and that's what that meant. Right. That's not how this is. Yeah. There are so many factors and some that we don't even get to see. We don't get to see the test as educators to really know what's there. We don't get to see what questions our students missed. We don't get to go back and help them, learn the stuff that they missed. The students don't get to see that information. They have this growth calculation that's really a projection of what they're supposed to make, that who knows where and how, and that's a ranking system. So, again, it's not transparent. It's not clear, and I think it's just so disingenuous. Our public knows the work that our schools are doing. Absolutely. Our community knows the work our schools are doing.
And the teachers, the principals, the people who are involved in this community know.
They do. They do. And so we're very fortunate and appreciative that our community does know that, and they do support us. They know the work that's happening in the schools, and it would be nice if those outside of the community would recognize that and just get out of the way and let's let our community run our schools. Yeah.
92 days left in the school year as we get into 2024. It'll wrap up on May 24th, but we've got January, February, March, April, and pretty much most of May to get through now. Yeah. What do you expect to see in this next 5 months, in these next 92 days? What do you want to see?
So the spring always moves very quickly. Yeah. So what do we expect? We'll have right off the bat, January, February, weather, the snow days, the early mornings.
You'll be the most popular person in the county.
or could be good and bad. Good with some kids.
Popular
with
the kids and not so much with the parents.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. I hate, oh my gosh. If we do have inclement weather days, what I want to see is that good snow that comes on in the night before.
Absolutely.
And we can let parents know, make your plans. We're not going to be in school tomorrow.
Not the one that comes through at 10 a.m.
Oh my goodness, those are awful. Or the 4:30, 5 a.m. And we're like, okay, it looks like it might be coming. Is it going to be here?
Right.
Is it going to snow? What are the temperatures doing? And then we're just guessing. We're guessing along with the weatherman. Sometimes we get it right. Sometimes we don't.
Right.
We have a team. I'm very thankful for that. We have a team of people who help make that decision.
Up early.
Oh yeah, they're
up very
early. Welcome to the school system. Betty had to get up. Those they start at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and we'll start texting each other usually 4:30 in the morning. What does it look like in Monterey? What does it look like down in the Hollows and Baxter? And it's just, again, checking road temps. What's the air temp? When's this system supposed to move in? Is there really going to be any moisture with it? Our EMA people, local weather folks, they all step in and they help us out. And watching Nashville weathermen as well.
Mm-hmm.
Pick your, whichever one of your favorite there is. They're all. It's just winter weather is a guessing game.
Yeah.
And so we hope we get it right.
Just follow us on social media and you'll find out very quickly.
Yes. So what I hope to see is, if we're going to have snow days, let's have some good snow and good snow days and make easy calls, and not as many of those early mornings that throw everybody into a whirlwind and panic. And I know it does for parents and families, and I'm sorry, but we want to keep the students safe. Mm-hmm. We can't have buses on the road. They don't respond the same way a car does.
Right.
We don't need student drivers on the road if it's inclement weather.
Right.
So some tough decisions have to be made. We have that January, February. Along with just, the second semester brings that real academic push. We're moving towards the state test. Again, the letter grades, everything that's so dependent upon those, that happens in April. Mm-hmm. So we spend so much time in this third and fourth 9 weeks really honing in and pushing hard, making that last academic push to get our students ready for that test, to make sure we've covered everything, all of the standards that are supposed to be covered in whatever grade level or subject it may be, before the students take that test. So they're prepared and they're as ready as they can be to meet expectations when they take the test. All the spring sports, spring activities, man, we really get cranked up. Basketball, January, February.
Tournament
I remember as an official, I used to love February basketball. February, hopefully we have some teams in March still going to Murfreesboro. We've been fortunate the last couple of years to have that. Hope we have that again this year. Then baseball, softball kicks up, spring track. We had success in all of those last year.
We did.
We hopefully see that again this year. The excitement around prom, graduation, May Day down in Baxter, the celebrations, the end of the year, field days in the elementary schools.
May is definitely the feel-good month.
It really is.
Absolutely, because testing is over. And it's like May is just the feel-good month.
The spring, it's warming up. The sun's shining. We got the trees coming out, and we're making that push. Everybody's ready, trying to just hang on. Let's get to the end, get to the summer. But there's a lot of fun stuff happens in May.
And one of the things here, probably in January and February, there's usually a lot of sickness, a lot of absenteeism, things like that you can't really avoid, and you just have to deal with.
We do. And it happens every year. It's not uncommon. Some of the things that I still think, I go back to years when I was attendance supervisor, and I know there's such a negative thing, a negative connotation around vaccines and all this coming out of the pandemic, but the flu shot, the flu vaccine has been around for many, many years. And we can go back and point to the years, the health department comes and they offer that opportunity for students, parents to sign up.
Yeah.
We didn't have a lot of students take advantage of that this year. I think that's unfortunate. The years that we have had high participation in taking the flu vaccine for our students and our faculty and staff, we have fared better with sickness. The years that we've had lower participation, then we've had tougher months. Yep. And hopefully the students who didn't take advantage of the vaccine, when the health department came around, they've gone to their primary, their pediatrician or maybe one of the pharmacies that offer the flu vaccine. But it does help. It does make a difference. Even it doesn't keep students from getting the flu necessarily, but it makes it a much shorter window. Mm-hmm. And so they don't miss as much and they're not quite as sick. The stomach bugs that go around, the sinus stuff goes around. That's always going to be there. So we encourage our students, wash your hands. They go by the sink, the hand sanitizer, use it. Keep your hands clean. The social things we did learn in the pandemic, we didn't learn. We knew social distancing. If you're sick, if you're congested, if you're coughing, give some distance between you and someone else.
Cover
Don't cough on them, right? Cuff
your,
with your sleeve. We teach that in elementary schools, not to cough in your hand, cough in your sleeve.
Yeah.
All those things just to help us out a little bit. Our teachers spend more time with Clorox wipes, wiping down desks, wiping down doorknobs. So if you want to throw an extra pack of Clorox wipes and send those to school, we buy those, by the way. You don't have to do this. But if you send an extra pack of Clorox wipes to school,
put them in your kid's backpack.
Hey, it's appreciated.
Yeah.
They do. They wipe down the different consumables that the students use. They wipe those down and try to keep things as clean as we can. Hopefully we can avoid having to close down for any sickness. Some years we do, some we don't. I get a lot of questions around that.
It's got to be
it's
a
pretty
high
high number. It really is.
It's got to be a high percentage.
We see little spikes. What we'll see is there'll be a spike in Baxter.
Right.
And the Baxter schools will have 10, 12% of their students that will be absent. But the rest of the county will be okay. Well, you don't want to shut down the whole county for that if we can avoid it. And then as Baxter's getting healthy, it'll start spiking at some of the Cookeville schools, or then maybe in Monterey, you'll see a little bit of a spike. But if it starts spiking across the district, and what tends to happen, the teachers are getting sick or their families getting sick, and then we can't get enough subs to cover.
Right.
That tends to happen before we have a really high absentee percentage among students. And so we watch both the percentage of students who are sick and who are out, as well as the number of percentage of teachers. Mm-hmm. And if we get up close to double-digit absenteeism from students and teachers, then we start thinking about closing down. We can do some things that we couldn't do in the past virtually. Again, not everything out of the pandemic, I guess, was bad, because we have virtual things that we can do now that we couldn't do before. So we can take virtual days if needed. Students know how to log into their Google Classrooms. They can do that from home if they have internet access. The teachers, the schools should know at this point what students do and don't have internet access, and can help provide other alternative assignments for them. But if we need to close and take a virtual day, that's something we can do. If one school spikes and gets really bad, we could close just that one school or two schools instead of the whole district, which we couldn't do that before either.
Right.
But we could close and take a virtual day or two at one school. We're only allowed two.
Yeah.
But take a virtual day at a school and maybe a long weekend and hope people get healthy and get back. But hopefully we can avoid that. Mm-hmm. Often, too, if we had to depend on weather. If we have the weather swings, impact sickness, we all know that. Really cold, really warm, really cold. That it's hard to get those bugs through and get them out of here. But if we have a few snow days and we're out and we're separated, that tends to help our absentees rate in the buildings too. We can't avoid it. Again, it happens. It happens. We deal with it every year.
Yeah. We'll
monitor it just like we do every year. Mr. Pierce does a great job in attendance. He sets a spreadsheet up that he shares with me. You'll have access to it. Our attendance clerks put in the numbers, so we have it back in HR. There's a few of the supervisors, student services, who also runs our nurse program. Mm-hmm. We all have access to that sheet, so we track the student absenteeism every day when it starts spiking, and just kind of keep an eye on, okay, do we need to close at this point or not? Right. Because it's really hard. That decision to close schools is tough.
It is.
Because
it really is.
When we close schools, whether it's sickness, weather, whatever, we know that those, or even the breaks, students aren't getting the meals that they get when we're open.
Right.
Parents have to go to work, have to find childcare. They depend on us to be open because they have their work schedule set around us being open.
Yeah, because a lot of them don't get snow
days.
They
don't get snow. Parents don't get snow days.
Right.
They don't get flu days, sick days. And we have lots of working homes. Mom and dad are both working, or if it's a single parent, that parent has to work, and so it causes a bind, and we understand that in the school system.
Sure.
So we want to keep everyone safe and healthy, but we're also aware of the fact that not everyone has those days off. So those are heavy decisions that we have to make, and those aren't decisions that we take lightly. Ultimately, it falls with me. I understand that, but it's not one I take lightly. And I do input a lot of help and assistance from a team of people, and whether it's weather, sickness, whatever, before making those decisions. And hopefully we do the best just to, again, provide safety for our students and faculty and staff.
Just for clarity, how many snow days do we get?
We get 13 built in.
Okay, 13
yeah,
built in.
13 built in. We go an extra 30 minutes a day to build those into the calendar. It's 180 days, but it's not like everybody gets taught, well, if we don't use them, we lose them. That's true. We don't get to shorten the school year if we don't use all of them. Right. It's just the way it is. We build them in, we go. We have some teachers sometimes get a little excited because they're like, but we work extra for those, but we pay the teacher for those days. Yeah. So those days are a little, their contract is based on that extra 30 minutes. It's not based on the shorter day, so they're not working extra, for free there. We pay them for that. That's always an interesting conversation with teachers too. But for our students and the teachers, everybody loves a good snow day.
Oh yeah.
And for me, if we're gonna have one though, let's have the snow.
Yes, let's have the snow.
I want the snow. Exactly. I want the sledding pictures. Yes. Let's get the stuff. Get that out there.
That's the best. I mean, if you're gonna have a snow day, let's have a snow day.
Yeah, yeah. These others are just a nuisance for everybody. No, we don't want that. Those are tough. Yeah. But anyway.
The first 88 days have certainly brought some surprises, some celebrations, and some great community among the schools. What will the next 92 days bring? Well, I guess we'll just have to wait.
We'll have to see, but we know there's going to be celebrations. Yeah. We know there's going to be more excitement, more community support around the schools, and a lot of fun. We just ask people to be engaged, to be there with us, to keep your kids there. Come be a part of the school. If you're a parent listening to this, watching this, talk to your child's teacher. Talk to the principal. Be a part of your child's school and education. Just plug in wherever you can. Encourage them to be there, to make friends, to do all the fun things. There's so much good around what's happening in the schools. I encourage people, let's not fall into the national narrative about all. Yes, there are things around safety, concerns that we all have. Yes. We do. But there's so much more good there. Let's focus on the good and be a part of making sure that we have the good things happening and not the other. So,
Putnam County School Director Corby King with us as we celebrate 2023 and we look forward to 2024. Corby, thanks so much.
Thank you. Right. Have a good spring semester. This is going to be fun.
Oh, it's going to be great. And thanks for watching. We appreciate it. God bless.